Break down the biggest winners in the space with investor, former SAP president, VMware COO Sanjay Poonen. Sanjay, good morning. Good to see you. I want to start with Atlassian. It's such an interesting company to me because it's based in Australia. We don't talk about it enough, and it's got this flipped model where they spend less on sales and marketing, more on R&D, that sort of product-led software movement, but they're still growing really fast. What's your take?
Yeah, John, Julian, and Carl, good to see you all. I've been following this company for a while, and I really like the Australians down under and what they've done there. This company has quietly become, 100 billion plus market cap. Who would have thought, on roughly 2 or 3 billion of revenue? They've really believed in no enterprise sales reps for a long time, just organic growing from sort of a bottoms up, really around one product, Jira, and now they've got more products, and have like the order of 120,000 customers. And it's really a lesson, which is one of the key aspects of what I saw in this quarter's earnings and sort of through the pandemic, that these companies, Atlassian, Intuit, HubSpot, that have been focused on mid-market companies, and I think several of you on the show have made this point, mid-market companies are looking for ways to digitally transform, and their IT departments are 0 or 1 person. So they need help of these sort of companies that can self-start, do it on your own. And Atlassian with Jira is a classic example of a company that's been doing this for thousands of customers, and it's great to see their stock run up over the last 6 to 12 months.
Now let's flip this around, though, and look at a bigger cloud company, specifically Google Cloud, where Thomas Kurian has been focusing a lot on building up the sales force over there. Their growth, perhaps not what you would have hoped for over this quarter they just reported, but you think that's a one-off?
Yeah, I think, listen, if you look at the big 3 clouds, AWS, Azure, and Google, AWS grew 39%, Azure 49%, Google a little slower, 45%. But if you look at what's called the remaining performance obligations or backlog, they all have a very healthy backlog. So my suspicion is that maybe they just had a 1 quarter aspect of customers deploying that may have slowed down a little bit. I see no material change. Sundar Pichai did talk about industry solutions. John, you've made this in your previous shows a point that as one of the reasons they differentiate, that AWS folks talked about ML and AI is one of the key reasons they differentiate. And Azure, Satya Nadella talked about the breadth of the portfolio as the reason they differentiate. So collectively, these 3 are 120 billion in total revenue, growing 43%. That's amazing. That's never happened in the tech world ever before.
Yeah, really interesting, Sanjay. While we have you here, I want to make sure to get your thoughts on the security space. We can't talk about cloud without talking about growing demand for security as well. How do you see those players competing right now? Which are best positioned?
Yeah, Julia, I think if you look at the security space, this is now a boardroom topic. In the past, it was sort of an esoteric topic of chief security officers and maybe some audit committees. But now every boardroom is sort of petrified by the threat vector that has been so pervasive from, Petra and WannaCry to most recently Colonial Pipeline and SolarWinds. And, you're seeing a new set of companies that are emerge. And if you follow me on Twitter, I post some of the top 100 tech names that I follow on both the public and the private in my pin tweet. And then a few days ago, I also posted the 6 or 7 security companies I track. By market cap, the biggest of them are CrowdStrike, Fortinet, Palo Alto, Okta, Zscaler, and Cloudflare. And those 6 are doing really well the past year. But the standout ones are clearly ones like CrowdStrike and Cloudflare in their areas. And I don't think there's going to be one security company that owns the entire platform. Microsoft in their comments said they're trying to build a $10 billion security business going 40%. But these 6 or 7 key security players are best of breed in their area. And the threat vector is actually going deeper into areas like source code. And I think there's going to be new companies. I just joined the board 2 weeks ago of a company named SNCC that's focused on developer security, where it's examining the source code, often open source code, to look for vulnerabilities. That's actually what happened at SolarWinds. So, Julia, I think there's going to be a bright horizon for both these public 6 or 7 companies I identified and dozens of other security companies on the private side that are going to emerge over the next couple of months and quarters.